Hello mga ka-Stagecraft! Welcome back to Stagecraft Session, kung saan tinitignan natin ang likod eksena ng teatro, ang set, lighting, props, costumes, projections, lahat ng gumagawa ng wow sa entablado. I am Fiona.
At ako naman si Toby. At excited kasi hindi lang tayo makakanta ngayon ng Parikom, kundi papasukin natin ang mundo ng stage design ng isang major Pinoy musical.
Right. At ang guest natin ngayong episode ay si EJ, teatro critic at design enthusiast. Welcome, EJ!
Hi EJ!
Hello everyone. Hi Fiona, hi Toby. Ready na akong mag-dive deep sa creative side ng Huling El Bimbo.
Magandang bagay kasi stage design minsan hindi napapansin. Pero kapag maganda ang impact niya, grabe.
Exactly. Kaya ngayon, pag-usapan natin kung paano naging arena ng emotion, nostalgia at storytelling ang set design, lighting, projections ng Huling El Bimbo. Tara na!
Let's go!
So, EJ, gusto ko mag-start tayo sa sino-sino yung team sa likod ng stage design ng show.
Good start. For ang Huling El Bimbo scenic set design was done by Gino Gonzalez. Lighting design by Monico Duque and project design by G.A. Falarma. Costume design by Marlon Rivera and sound and other technical elements by Rard Scorpus and RV De Maculangan, among others.
Wow, taray! So many moving parts. Kaya pala when you watch it the first time, may parts na para ka nanonood ng film, hindi lang stage play.
Exactly. Gino Gonzalez described his design as using broken frames, fragmented structures alluding to the broken lives and splintered relationships of the characters.
Interesting, ha? So, the design isn't just looks pretty. It's symbolically tied to the theme.
Yes, which is what makes the stage design conversation worth having.
Alright! Set design, EJ. Ano yung pinaka standout set pieces?
One of the major highlights, the Carinderia set, Spirit Canteen, that could be seen from multiple angles and a revolving stage piece that allowed quick scene transitions.
Oh, so revolving stage pala yun, parang concert arena.
Yep. Also, the use of projections in campus sequences rather than literal classrooms. They use notebooks, tear-outs, ink drawings, aquarelle trees, and etc. This gave us an impressionistic sense of memory, plaintive, and nostalgia.
Ultimo
So
na.
parang yung set was partly realistic and purely drama or abstract, di ba?
Yeah, on one side, you have the nostalgia of youth, the 90s era, fashion, and campus rituals. On the other hand, we have the darker present day, broken lives, and regret. The set design shifts tone accordingly. For example, baggy 90s costumes, bright lighting versus dim, and cold tones.
So, would you say na yung design, na-balance ba niya successfully yung dalawang timeline, yung youth tsaka yung present?
Yes, overall, though some critics pointed out that because of the set was so large, sometimes the actors look small or distant, but the design still delivered.
So yung set medyo bigger than life, but actors parang mikropono lang kami. Ganon ha.
Sort of, but that's a trade-off for grandeur.
Okay, so next up naman is yung lighting, projection, and effects.
Lighting by Monico Duque is superb. Example, in the Alapa Up Overdrive sequence, the lighting created dreamlike sequences under stars, simulated movement and tension.
Palaging may smoke effect on top of car din. Ulit. Palaging may smoke effect on top of car din ba? I recall reading that.
Yes, smoke or fog effects, LED wall backgrounds, live projections. For instance, the stage has an LED wall to shift background rapidly from Old Manila Street to Campus Corridor to Dark Alley.
So yung audience pala, immersed talaga sila sa world of the character.
Yes, that's the intention. Also, the lighting colors cues were symbolic. Example, red and blue lighting during Pareco sequence, forming a heart shape to signify youth and love.
Oy, nice details. And paano naman po kaya sa darker scenes?
Para naman sa darker scenes during present day, the lighting gets dim, high contrast, and cold tones. Kasi nga, pinapakita talaga yung grief. And example nun ay yung sa morgue, yung scene na yun, where characters walk towards Joyce's body. Dim, almost dark lighting signifies the grief talaga.
Ito naman, huwag natin kalimutan, how about yung mga costumes naman and props?
Costume design by Marlon Rivera. He made garments era accurate, mga 90s baggy tees, yung mga talaga malalawag na damit, and Letterman jackets. But also emotionally index color-coded outfits to reflect emotional state.
Bagay na big props over many small ones. So audiences, less clutter but more impact, di ba?
Yes. For example, the car on the stage journey to Antipolo was a big moment. The set, projection, and lighting all aligned.
So, prop-wise naman, it sounds like everything serves story naman. Di lang siya pang decoration.
Yeah. Good stage design means every object, light, and color has a purpose.
One challenge with big musicals, transitions between scenes.
Tama. Here, the revolving stage and projection shifts allow the fast transitions without long blackouts. This maintains the momentum. Also, the broken frame structures by Gonzalez allowed multiple scenes to exist simultaneously or overlap visually.
That's clever ha. So, hindi ka always na scene ends, blackout, tapos next scene begins. Nag-flow pala siya.
Right. And that the flow is critical in the story that alternates between past and present. The design helps the audience track the timelines without confusion.
So stage design is like narrative Conrad, guiding us through the show.
Exactly. So, EJ, from audience or design perspective naman, ano yung pinakamalaki na takeaway dito?
That stage design elevated the experience from just a musical to immersive theater moment. Critics often cited the design was one of the show's strengths. However, some noted that because the set was so large or ambitious, a few scenes felt lost in the scale.
So too big to hug.
Maybe, but bigger ambition often means bigger reward. The audience lives saying wow, and that thanks to largely to the design. The nostalgia hits stronger because the world around you feels real yet heightened.
So, for aspiring set designers out there, ano ba yung lesson nila dito?
Uh, Design must serve story, color and light, props and space. They all talk. Also, seamless transitions matter. And finally, scale must match the venue and story without overwhelming the actors.
Uy, magandang advice yan. Thank you. Alright, mini game before we wrap. If your room were designed as a set for your life story, what element would you borrow from Ahem stage design?
Kung ako sis ha, ang gusto ko dyan yung revolving stage para sometimes nasa past ako, makakalipat din ako sa present.
Taray. Ako, I take the projection walls. So when I'm bored, I switch background each 1 minute, 90s Manila next.
Mm. Sa akin naman, I take the color-coded lighting. Red for hope or yellow, and blue for reflection. Dim for anong ginawa ko?
Nice.
Nice. So mga ka-stagecraft, to wrap up, yung stage design ng Ang Huling El Bimbo is not just pretty. May purpose yan lahat. It helps tell the story of youth, loss, memory, and regret.
And next time you watch a musical, pay attention to what's behind the actors because
Yes.
that's storytelling too.
Mm-mm.
Exactly. The next time you hear ang huling albimbo or see the show, look around you. Look at the frames, the backgrounds, the lighting changes. They're all speaking.
Wow. Thank you so much, EJ, for joining us.
Thank you, Fiona and Toby. It's been fun diving into this center.
This has been Toby, and I promise to vacuum my rotating stage at home.
And I'm Fiona, reminding you na hindi lang manood ng theater. Feel it.
This is Stagecraft Session. See you next time and keep designing your stage of life.
Bye.
Hello, my name is Chris Bell, and I design and build sets for the theater. In a show, the set is there to help tell the story. It brings you into the time and place of where the story takes place. When I begin working on a show, the first and most important thing to do is to read the script. All the designers get together. We have the director. I'll be there as a set designer. We'll have a lighting designer. We'll have a costume designer. And we'll discuss what the show is about, the time it takes place in, and what we want to see in general. And then it's just a matter of, okay, how do we want the audience to feel while they're watching the show? We go for moods. We can do a dark forest. We can do a bright interior dining room, a seashore. All we need to do, we'll lay out some blue fabric and there's the ocean. Simple things or elaborate things. So building a set, everything on stage is an illusion. We're just creating the look of what you're actually seeing. This bunny, for instance, you might see that it looks like stone. It's basically just painted and then spattered with a little black. It's painted like gray, it's spattered with a little black, it's spattered with a little white, makes it kind of look like granite. It's all simple painting techniques. These roses, beautifully painted, just based out in the light, this mid-tone green, given shadows with the dark greens, and shadowed with this nice use of colors. We got the orange, red, orange, some purpley shadowing.
Oh, isn't this such a beautiful garden?
It's always fun when working on a set to incorporate existing elements to suit your needs for the time. These roses, for instance, have been used as a great row of roses many a time. But there was a great show we once did. It was Jack and the Giant. And we had the proscenium, around the stage. We had just hung these upside down, and they became the great vine that grew up into the sky. So it's always fun to repurpose existing pieces best you can. Part of making a set is how things come in and off the stage. That's a very important part of the design aspect because it takes choreography and knowing things have to be in their first position and move on stage and move off. A classic technique is to have platforms on wheels. Now this is a small one for the street lamp. This street lamp here was last used in James and the Giant Peach, and it just rolled in for one scene, lights up, and goes off stage again. And there we have a complete scene change. Sets can be very simple. Like this lamppost, for instance. It tells you so much about where you are and what era we're in and what the period is. You only see something like this, this looks like, Dickens' England, or it's a period piece. It takes you back to the 19th century. This rock is not real. It was actually hammered together with nails, which is, this must be about 50, 60 years old, because now everyone just uses a nail gun. We build these, most sets are just built out of very thin plywood, Luan, 1/4-inch plywood. So this pile of gold from the show Aladdin, all just painted, all painted. So one would do this on paper first, you design, or the computer. You could take a Illustrator or something to draw up your designs, and then I'll mix paints myself often. We have a base coat, a low light, a highlight to make it all. And then the idea is, to really work to give it a sense of depth, because as you see, this is just a flat, very simply built. All walls that you see on a stage are called flats because basically they're flat. One of my favorite things about working on sets is the scale, the sense of scale that you can create. Whether it be a little door like this, which makes things very interesting, or everything can be brought in and just a small throw rug and a chair and a low-hanging light to take you into a very small, cozy little environment. As a set designer, there's a fine line between the set, the walls, and what is a prop. Now this is sort of in between. Usually a chair would be a prop, but because this is a mushroom, a toadstool from, I believe, Alice in Wonderland, usually the set designer will fabricate something like this. Once again, a very simple thing. It reads well, but this is merely a cardboard tube used for construction, concrete construction, and just it's got a wood plate sitting on top of the tube. It's got some foam wrapped in fabric, sprayed with a little paint, and very nice job. Put little spots on it, and you know exactly what it is, a toadstool. And you can sit on it. This door right here, for instance, was built with just a little framework. We start with the frame. These are just little 1x2-inch pieces of lumber, chopped to size. This is a really thin strip of plywood, so it can be bent to make the round top. Just a couple little blocks to hold it together. Very simple structure. And then beautifully painted. And wow, it could really be transformed into a door like this. Some sets can be like building a house. You're literally putting in cabinets and a sink and doors and opening windows. So it can be very elaborate like that. Or once again, it can be simple. When we're building sets and the pieces have to move off and on stage, part of the design challenge is to make it, keep the scale, but make it manageable. So when we move off a set, the challenge also in many theaters is to find out, we'll call it its home. Where does this piece go when it's not in use? Because we also have to make sure that behind the scenes or backstage or off to the sides of the stage, that actors can come and go, that costume changes might be happening, and these giant set pieces often have to be each given a place off stage where they live, as we'll say. One of my favorite kind of sets, revolve. We'll have a large turntable, we'll call it, where one whole scene could be set up for the audience, and then when the lights go out, it just turns, it spins around to reveal a whole new scene, and that's a very effective way to get very elaborate sets changed very quickly. So we can have revolving sets. Sometimes we'll just do triangular pterodactyls, they're called, and they'll have 3 sides that can be turned around to expose different settings. A good example of a revolving set was done on this stage for Beauty and the Beast, where it went from a throne room castle to a simple cottage. Another great example of a revolving reveal of a set was for James and the Giant Peach, where we had a giant peach on stage, and it turned around and it revealed the whole interior there for the scene to take place. Next time you're at a theater, look closely at the set you're looking at. Maybe you can see now the different elements they're using, how these are just painted flats, or if they're revolving, or if things are going off, or sometimes things can fly up. But it's good to appreciate the set when you're watching a show.